What's up, everyone? It's your boy Norman Radd89 here, bringing you another Radd movie review, and you know it's time to talk Robert Eggers' new film, Nosferatu. It's finally out. I went on a date with my wife to go check it out. It was a lot of fun, and then I went to work right after, so I kind of marinated on this, sat on this movie overnight, thinking about it, what I was going to say, my feelings on it. So today you're going to get my positives, the negatives, the rating, and then I'm going to send you all home. So let's do this. Roll it. So Nosferatu, the new one, is Robert Eggers' rendition and his adaptation of the original old story Nosferatu from, I believe, back in the 1920s. And this story is originally based on Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. And Robert Eggers is just one of those expert directors that just really knows how to do a period piece setting. And like leading into the positives right away is that's one thing, is that this film is absolutely dripping with aesthetic, and it feels like that time period. It feels like the 1800s. Robert Eggers knows how to suck you out of wherever you're at right now in 2024, whatever's going on in your head, whatever you're feeling, he's able to pull you out of that and really immerse you in whatever world he's trying to create. Like I said, he's done The Northman, Lighthouse, and The Witch, and all of those films are all period piece films, and this is another one, and he absolutely nailed it. Next up, I want to give a shout out to the cast. They absolutely did outstanding. The performances are gripping. Nicholas Hoult, William Dafoe, like they all did a fantastic job. Their characters, I liked all the characters in this film. I felt for the characters. I felt the dread and the threat that was going on, and it felt like there was actual stakes in this movie. You know what I mean? Lily Rose Depp does a fantastic job as our lead actress, and really has some crazy scenes where she contorts her body, or does these scenes where she's convulsing, or she has to go from one type of character to another type of character at the drop of a hat, and she is able to do it without blinking. She does a fantastic job of it. So that was one huge shout out. Another one we got to talk about right now, a very transformative experience and transformation in terms of the portrayal. Bill Skarsgård, for real. Like, this is one of those performances that if you did not know who the actor was going into the movie, you would have no idea, because he totally loses himself in this character. He is totally this character, and he's creepy, and you feel Orlok's presence throughout the whole entire film. You know what I mean? You can feel this threat. You feel a looming thing going to happen in the third act. And like I said, from the beginning of the movie, they're able to weave that tension throughout. And like I said, even though he's not in every scene, you can feel his presence. Another thing that is really amazing about this film is the cinematography and the way it looks, the color saturation. They went to, like, Robert Eggers decided to not go black and white, but it has a lot of grays, a lot of like desaturated blues and everything. And even then, when you get to the candle lighting scenes, there's a lot of amber colors and yellows and orange. And this film, it's such a great, in terms of cinematography, this is what I'm talking about, it's such a great palette to just look at. So even when there's not much going on screen, or there's just people kind of talking, there's always something to look at and appreciate in this film. Robert Eggers also does a great job in playing with shadows. There's a lot of cool techniques where they play with the shadows, where Count Orlok, you just see the shadow, you see the hand, or you see him and you hear the voice, but you don't actually see him physically in the room, or the physical manifestation of him. You know what I mean? That's what I mean, is they did a fantastic job weaving that kind of presence throughout the entire film. And like I said, with the reactions from the other characters, because they're so legit and they're so on point and they're so authentic, like I said, it feels like a film from the 1800s, or it feels like you're in that time period. I also love the fact that we get a little naughty. When I think of vampire films, in terms of horror, for me as a horror fan, when I'm thinking of a vampire movie, I think of some, really cool vampire effects, but I think of sexual stuff as well. Like, I want my vampire film to be a little naughty, and this film is erotic, but it also has like that love lust thing going on, and it's also scary. So that's what I want. I want to be scared. I want to feel the threat of the vampire, but I also want some erotic stuff. You want to be attracted to the lore of either the vampire looks really cute and sexy kind of thing, or you want the allure of the vampire pulling you in in that, you know, being eternal forever kind of thing, to be that lust. So I love the fact that, like I said, this film basically nails everything I want in a vampire film. You can tell I'm talking this film up. Glowing recommendations. There really isn't a lot of negatives with this film. In terms of negatives, my mixed and negatives, we're going to talk about it right now. They're mostly just mixed. They're not like straight up negatives for me. The mixed aspects of this film for me are that the dialogue is very authentic, and when you go to Robert Eggers films, you know you're going to get that kind of stuff. But in terms of, if you're not familiar with 1800s dialogue, I could understand where some of the talking scenes, some of the dialogue dump scenes where they're trying to give you information, or where, like William Dafoe's character, when they bring him in and he's kind of this pseudo kind of Van Helsing type character, and he's got a knowledge on the occult and believes in alchemy and stuff. So when they bring him in, a lot of the terms and the way he speaks, people might not be into that. They might be like, oh, well, I don't know what these people are talking about right now. Like, I could see some audience members saying that. Another mixed I have with this film is there were moments, not a bunch of times, but there were a couple moments, like 2 moments in this film, where I felt the runtime. I don't think this film is dramatically too long. I think it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes, so that's not really terribly a long film, but there were a couple moments within the movie that I did actually feel the runtime, where I was just kind of sitting there and I was like, I want it to get going, like, keep going. You know, we have this good pace, let's keep it rolling. But those are just minor mixed stuff. Like I said, they're not really negatives. Those are kind of mixed, nitpicky things. Or like I said, the other thing is more of an observation, because Robert Eggers is so great at doing period pieces and so great at making the dialogue authentic that it could be hard to understand for some audience members. But I had an absolutely fun time with this film, going into this gothic world and having Eggers just suck me in there. Like I said, the atmosphere was there. The performances were gripping. It was just really a good film to look at. Like I said, it's beautiful. So many beautiful shots to look at. And in terms of my rating, a Radd rating for Nosferatu, it's going to get a 9 out of 10. Like I said, very, very solid rating. This is one of those films, like I said, it was on the cusp of being a very, very perfect film, but this is going to be very high up there in the ranking of 2024 horror films. This is one of the best horror films that came out this year. I'm not lying to you right now. Like, as it stands from my perspective, my point of view, this is easily, like I said, a top 10 horror film that came out this year. But these are just my thoughts and my opinions on Nosferatu. Please let me know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on this film? Or even if you haven't seen it, are you excited to see this film? Are you like really anxious? And I hope that like the stuff that I talked about and my feelings on it and what I described to you, that helps you enjoy the film. Like I said, I didn't want to spoil it because this film just came out on Christmas Day, and I know a lot of people probably haven't gotten a chance to go to the theaters to see it yet. So, but I had an absolutely fun time. Like I said, 9 out of 10. Absolutely stellar rating, and can't wait to return to this film and own it on physical media, because this is going to be one of those films that I'm going to buy. But please like the video. That definitely helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and have that notification bell poked so you're notified anytime I drop a video. But most importantly, y'all know what's up. Have a safe and happy day. Peace out.